Welcome everybody to another installment of Opinions Are Stupid. No special guests this week, except of course Jason, who's always special. Last week we had Justin on, and he broke the internet with us. Man, that was great.
That was good time. Yeah,
I was like, you're trying to lead it with
I don't think he realized what he got himself into. That's the thing that was funny.
Yeah. He's trying to lead it with stuff, and he's like, "Yeah, I can't talk." How many times did he freaking say, "Yeah, no, I can't"?
Yeah.
So funny.
And then he loosened up a little, and he got into.
Yeah, it was, but because it was hilarious, and then he just jumped up because it was dinner time, and his kid was like, "Let's go have tacos, Dad." Tacos.
Taco Tuesdays.
Taco Tuesdays. So there was that, and it was a lot of fun. I put up everything's up. All the shows are up, man. All of them. I got my shit together. Put everything up.
We're expanding. The podcast action coming soon. It's gonna be
podcast. All the shows are going on the podcast now, and you're
blowing up.
Listen to them on your car. Like I listen to this on my car anyway because I want to see like, oh, that sounded good. That was a good one. That was stupid. You know how it is. Right. So last week we ended the show with our friend who didn't want to talk about anything. Last week we did the show on Star Wars Day, and I think that and he was like completely against. This is funny, right? So he was completely against Rogue One, right? He was like, Rogue One, that's God, and he made jokes about it. I'm trying to see why am I on like my head's on fire? I have no idea why.
Because you're about to explode, and it's all coming out. That's why you're ready to go. You're revved up.
What the hell's going on? It's like I'm doing Extremis from the Iron Man movie. Right. Honestly, I don't know why this is happening. Like, reflection? What's happening here? Oh, I see. I know.
Yeah, the sun. He has a beautiful view. Everybody.
Hold on, folks.
I'll tell you about. He has a beautiful view. Overlooks the water, looks into the Manhattan skyline. It's a beautiful view.
It actually looks into Secaucus. There's no Manhattan. It's the Secaucus metal. My view is actually pretty nice because I have a really nice sunset, but it looks across the Meadowlands into an oil refinery.
Nice.
Because Jersey's dirty.
Dirty Jers.
Dirty Jers. Oh my God. That's what's happening.
Right.
Yeah. So, but seriously, folks. I'm also calling from the Sanctum Sanctorum, as you can see behind me.
Right.
Sanctum Sanctorum. So he was like really getting down on Rogue One, and I said, Rogue One, really? Was it that bad? Was Rogue One that bad? And I watched it. I watched it this weekend, and because I'm alone and it's sad.
Right. And because he loves Star Wars, so you wanted to see if he had any.
Right. I wanted to make sure that Justin was wrong. I wanted to prove that he was wrong. So I watched it, and I have to say he has some specific points that he's not wrong about. And the specific points are, what's going on in the story? So in all Star Wars stories that are done in Star Wars, right? In all movies, you have 3 acts. If you do them right. You have 3 acts. You have the beginning where you basically introduce everybody and the story side and the part of blah blah MacGuffin and everything. The middle where you deal with the conflict that was introduced in the first one with specific like things, and then like you do things like in Raiders of the Lost Ark. He has to get the Ark. He finally gets the Ark. Right. Blah 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 blah. You find out people are dead. Anything, all that stuff.
Dr. Jones.
Dr. Jones. Sorry. Not that one. That's similar.
Right.
But in the last thing, everything gets resolved, right? So yes, the beginning makes sense. The end makes sense. The middle makes no fucking sense. The middle's a mess of that. Yes. It's like we're gonna go and take care of your dad. Okay, why are we doing that? Because we got to. It's like, well, then why? What? Wait a minute. What? And then Darth Vader shows up, and you're like, what's going on? I mean, it's cool looking. The production values of that movie are excellent. It's really
eye candy.
His guard, the black troopers are fucking cool. They don't speak English, which is fantastic. A lot of stuff is really cool. Like it really kind of like expands the idea of the Star Wars universe in that movie. You got cool aliens. You got like freedom fighters. The rebels are completely different. Like you never seen
Right.
rebels like this, right? You got a guy with 2 cans on his feet. Cool shit. And then like, but then the middle turns into this like, it turns into unresolved, ununderstandable garbage. And then near the end is like the Dirty Dozen, right? So you got all this like, you attack the base, all this other shit. So to his point, yes, Rogue One kind of fails a little bit in that thing. I did not watch Solo: A Star Wars Story as well because I should have, but I didn't. What I did instead was watch Attack of the Clones, which was a fucking mistake. But because you know why? Because I watched the first episode of Bad Batch, and I was like, yeah, Bad Batch. So I watched the first episode of Bad Batch, and I was like, okay, this is all right.
Which happens after the Clone Wars. Which happens.
Right, happens right after Execute Order 66.
Right.
Happens after that, right? So, like, and it's the Bad Batch is okay, and you find again doing that expanding of the universe, interesting into situations, blah 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 blah. But no, he had a point. I had to agree with him on that. The middle of the movie was mashed potatoes.
So now let me jump on Solo because because we were into the conversation, so I could have came after him with this, but we was like so into the conversation that I did it. My problem with Solo is, and Justin says that we saw Han Solo in a different light. Like we saw him doing some squashbuckling stuff. We saw him be a little bit of a deviant kind of guy. But I just felt it wasn't enough for Solo, and that was my problem with it. I think with Solo, they didn't want to make him too much of a bad guy, so they kind of like played this line with him where he did just enough, but not enough to be a scoundrel kind of thing. And that was my problem with it. If you're gonna do Solo the way they kind of wanted to do it, he had to be a bit of an asshole. And I don't think he was too much of that. I think he tried to be a nice guy who was kind of clean cut, but that kind of, doing some weird stuff here or there. And I didn't think it was enough for me. For a guy who's supposed to be the bad
right. My problem with Solo was the love angle. Like
that's true. Right.
It's like, oh, I'll get you out of there, baby. And you're like, what are you doing?
And she's the mother of dragons. She doesn't need help. She's the mother of dragons. She doesn't need help.
It's the heart of gold thing that kind of made me go, but what?
Right.
Speaking of which, I think she was the bad guy in fucking Winter Soldier, Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Khaleesi?
Khaleesi? No.
Wasn't she? Yes.
No.
She was the mother of dragons, wasn't she?
Was she? Oh, no.
I thought that was the girl from
Erin Kellerman. Erin Kellerman. IMDb. That's Erin Kellerman. She was in Winter Soldier. She was.
Am I getting?
Yeah, she was in Solo: A Star Wars Story.
Right.
She was in Ness. Oh. No, sorry. Maybe I'm wrong. So who are the characters? Jonas Sutuno, Alden Ehrenreich. Emilia Clarke, you're right.
Yeah, she's the mother of dragons. She looked a little different, but she was.
I'm a dope. Well, Emilia Clarke is actually. I hate her in that blonde wig. Oh man, did I have a Game of Thrones talk today with a friend of mine?
Did he?
Did you watch Game of? Okay, so
yes.
Back to Star Wars. So Solo: Star Wars. So, controversy, folks. Lots of controversy. So, in Solo: Star Wars Story, there was this like understanding, right? That he was hard of gold out for his girlfriend, right. And you're like, why? Right? Because everybody else was cool when he introduced them. When they introduced the group of bad guys, the thieves, you were like, yes. Yeah. And they were like,
that Tracy was pretty cool. That Tracy was good. Yes.
They got involved in the Enfys Nest stuff, all that shit. You were like, yes. And of course, what you didn't see, folks, is the person that ran that crime syndicate is actually Darth Maul. That was the
that's right.
That was the thing you were supposed to know, that Darth Maul was
right.
Because what's really cool is everything that happened in the animated show, right? Everything that happened in the animated show is actually the Clone Wars animated show is actually Star Wars canon now. So if all that stuff you're like, this is for kids, well, you better start watching all that shit because all of it's canon.
Right.
No joke. Like it's Darth Maul in charge of the freaking bad guys, all that shit. which I think is really funny because that means that Dave Filoni, the guy who produced all those shows, has more weight in Star Wars than fucking George Lucas.
Right. George who?
Yeah, right. George, take your money, George. Here's your $4 billion.
Right.
Get out of here. No, we're good.
Thank you
Get
for
the fuck
your
out. No, don't hit you on the way out, George. We got it. Get out.
And take the Ewoks Christmas with you, George. Just
Yeah, goodbye. So anyway, so yeah, all that stuff, and I agree with you. I think, but again, Solo kind of also suffers from that, like 3-act thing because the first act is okay. Whether I say whatever I want to say about that, the first act is okay. The second act is okay. The third act is garbage.
It's true.
It wasn't garbage.
Right. Right.
But in both movies, both droids are great.
Right. So if you chop them up and put like one half into another, you think it'd be a good movie? You say
no. It's the work has to be done on the script.
Yeah. Oh, look at this. Speaking of,
what's going on there? Work. Don't be stupid. I think it's I have my light on so it can focus on me because it's a robot and it's dumb. Robots everywhere, folks. Robots everywhere. All kinds of different robots doing all kinds of different things. Most of them fucking it up.
take it over.
So really quick about Emilia Clarke and a conversation I had with somebody about Game of Thrones. Emilia Clarke played the seminal character in Game of Thrones of Daenerys Targaryen, which white people, if you can say Daenerys Targaryen, you can pronounce Jesus Reyes. Just saying.
I know. There's some truth to that.
Just saying, white people.
They can't roll the R's.
Daenerys Targaryen. That's just as phonetically correct as Dina. Dina or Dinora, perfect. Daenerys Dinora, you can't fuck that up. How are you getting that wrong? Right. Easy.
That's funny. I never thought about it. You're right. You could.
Somebody put that meme up. I was like, oh shit. So that's what. But when in Game of Thrones, when she comes to Westeros, and she has her dragons with her, and she starts saying, "Yo, I'm back. I'm the queen. Look at me." Blah blah. And you're like, okay, she's back. She's a queen, right? And then she attacks that trailer, that army, dragons, right? And she says, "You got to bend the knee to what's his name's brother and father," and they're like, "No." And then she burns them to death right there. Right. And John's like, yeah, do that? And she was like, yeah, they wouldn't bend the knee. And John's like, but did you have to do that?
Right.
She's like, they wouldn't bend the knee, dude. And he's like, yeah, I know, but did you have to do that? Like that scene right after when that happened and John says that underlines the fact that she is fucking crazy. Because any idea that you had of her being this benevolent figure is thrown out the window, and I don't understand why people are like, well, they killed her at the end, blah blah blah. I'm like, yeah, they did, because she's fucking crazy, and she was gonna lay waste to fucking rest. When she burned the town, the town right there, you would have been like, you gotta kill this bitch.
Right. She's out of control.
And people are like, oh, I don't like the way you did that. There was no heel turn. That was her all along. Right. She was never a face. She was always a heel. If you're into wrestling, face is the good guy, heel is the bad guy. Sometimes the face does a heel turn and becomes the bad guy. Look it up. Right. Anyway, she was never a face. She was always a heel. It was always a part of what she was up to. And when we realized this in the last season, because that's when that shit started to happen.
Right.
No one should have been surprised. There have been no fucking surprises here,
So how did this conversation come up? Were you like having lunch with somebody and it just comes up because this?
Or is it because anymore? I'm trapped in my house? No, what happened was I was on a phone call about a business venture. Okay. It's like, oh, this is business, and she was like, yeah, business. I was like, yeah, business. And talking shop and business, and then we were talking about Game of Thrones, and she said that, and it's like, yeah, I don't understand what I thought it was fine. I was like, me too. The fuck. But it just came up as she said, I always thought she was a crazy bitch. And I said, hell to the yes.
Right.
Bitch is crazy. And that's fine. And it's fine. It's like, the thing is that with the whole idea of power corrupting, absolutely. When her dragons got to a point where they could burn people, like, first of all right, remember she had 3 dragons.
Right.
There was, the big black one, the kind of gray one, the blue one, who became the ice dragon, the undead ice dragon and shit.
Which was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was cool. Anyway, you know what? People complain about Game of Thrones. Fuck you, it had dragons in it. All day long. All day long, dragons.
You were okay with the battle scene that was in total darkness and nobody could see anything. You were okay with
I was fine with that. Are you kidding me?
But why? It's like you can't have a moonlight out there so you could
But the thing is about that battle scene that was dark. I had my lights for the most of it. I had my lights off in my room. I could see things fine. So I don't know what the fuck.
I agree.
Turn off your lights, bitch. You know what I'm saying? Watch it with your lights off. And they even said that the director was like, "Yeah, it was supposed to be night." So
yeah, but how many movies have you seen that are night movies and you see everything perfectly? I mean, so something happened there. Whether the cinematography messed up or something happened there.
You know what?
I didn't have an issue with it.
Jason,
I didn't have an issue with it, but I could understand when people would complain.
Jason, I'm gonna say the following to you. Absolutely, absolutely correct. I just didn't give a fuck. I really didn't. That's the thing about these people. They invest themselves in these fucking shows. If the show's good, it's good. If it's not so good, okay. Oh, we went 7 seasons. You went 10 years watching the show, and you're bitching about it now? Because I was bitching about it fucking season 4 when they killed everybody in the fucking Red Wedding, and that was in the books.
That was a great. And
exactly, and you might have been sad about it. Well, they fucking killed Ned the last episode. Holy shit! Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Everybody else did what they need to do. I was like, oh, so-and-so story arc in season 5. Shut up! Like, you're gonna stop watching. That's the thing. Are you gonna stop watching it? I'm gonna stop watching it. They don't. Yeah. Okay. Good for you.
Right. And I gotta ask one more point. You okay with Arya Stark killing the underworld guy? You were okay with that? With the White Walker?
Yeah.
You okay with that?
Yeah,
you
why?
Okay that all of a sudden she just came out of nowhere and jumps, 10 feet in the air and just stabs him?
Yeah, and so
comes out of nowhere. See?
Why, who cares? Here's the thing. Who cares? Oh, I didn't start killing him. And? Is he dead? Oh, yeah. Well, why would John be heroic? And John was busy. Right?
Right. I hear you. I just have an issue with this guy who's supposed to see all and know all, and all of a sudden you don't see this girl flying out of a tree.
He doesn't see all and know. That's the whole point. He doesn't see all and know all. He has. Okay, so look, I think we lose.
He's up, folks. He is pumped up.
We lose sight. Sometimes we lose sight of what these constructs are. Right.
Right.
Like But to me, it made sense for John to not be king because he was like, I don't want to be king.
That's fine.
And he said it more than once, right? He was like, right. I don't want to be king. You should be king. Why? For you at home with the popcorn? That doesn't make any sense in this character arc, Right. Well, why is Bran king? Why not? What's her name didn't want to be? You wanted to keep queen of the North. She wants nothing to do with that shit. And Bran makes all kinds of sense. Right.
And
people need to be ruled. They're dumb as fuck. The best thing about Game of Thrones is this: people are fucking stupid. That's it. At the end of the day, that's it. People are dumb. Do they care who's the king? Sure, they're still gonna be doing that Game of Thrones shit. But you know what? He can see the future. So you're fucked.
Right.
Done.
Right. Yeah. Right. He can see you coming a mile away.
He can see the future.
I like the White King.
He has a fucking technology guru that will do anything to fucking fix shit because he's fucking the smartest, one of the smartest dudes ever. He has a hand of the king who's smart as fuck too. So it's like he has the dream team. He's like the fucking he's the 92 fucking Bulls.
He's
the 92 Bulls. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough to beat him. If you don't know what I'm talking about, folks,
only here you could put Michael Jordan and Game of Thrones in the same sentence. Only here.
Go, greatest of all time. I found out about that 3 years ago. I was like, what the fuck is that? It's GOAT, greatest of all time. I was like, oh, I can see that. Right. Yes, because remember in sports, GOAT was also the worst possible thing that could happen, but that has been replaced.
Ask Bill Buckner, right?
Ask Bill Buckner. That has been replaced. Poor Bill Buckner. That has been replaced with greatest of all time.
Which he was part of. Did you ever see that Curb Your Enthusiasm episode where Bill Buckner was on it?
No.
Oh, you have to see it.
I have to see
it.
Look at that, kids. We went from Game of Thrones right to sports. Didn't even miss a beat.
Not to give it away, but it's one of the greatest episodes ever. Just
I'm
if you
gonna
have time, watch, and then we can talk about it next time.
I will. I'll have to watch it only because fucking that show's hard.
And they're referencing the '86 World Series big time in it.
That show goes hard.
Yeah.
The show where he buys the shirt's exactly like Ted Danson's shirt, and Ted Danson gets mad at him for wearing his shirt, and he's like, "It's a good shirt, whatever." I feel that way every time somebody complains about something. So, okay. For example, if somebody puts up some poetry that sucks, I'm going to say it sucks. I'm going to say it sucks. You know why? Because fuck your feelings. You put that shit up. What do you think was going to happen? You know what I'm saying? Oh, maybe you shouldn't have hurt his feelings. Fuck that guy. If he thinks that poet's so great and I'm like, this is the worst poem I ever read, what are you going to do about it? Cry in your towel? Get out of here.
Right. Write another poem.
Well, grow some fucking balls. You know what I'm saying? Well, he wrote it. Did he write it? Did he really? Because it looks like an internet meme to me. And by the way, it's a shitty internet meme. Do better next time. Moving on. The fuck out of here.
Good times. Good times.
I'm just saying. I don't expect anyone to fucking save my feelings. I'm not 15 years old.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, let me just tuck you around for a minute, son. You know, that poem was pretty bad. I just want to tell you privately. So next time, you don't feel like killing yourself. I mean, what the fuck?
What I'm hearing is that you think The Catcher in the Rye is overrated. That's what I'm hearing.
I haven't read it.
Really? You didn't read it in high school?
I read Tom Sawyer 3 times.
Good time. Really? No Catcher.
It's on my shelf somewhere. I'll read it. Here it is.
Somewhere.
In one of my
you have to read it.
In one of my trips to Brooklyn, somebody put out this reader's edition of Catcher in the Rye.
No, I like how Batman popped up at that.
Yeah, Batman. It's Batman. Catcher in the Batman. Catcher in the Rye, which is here, and it's 300. It's 200 pages of Holden Caulfield being an asshole. So I get to read that sooner or later. I got Kill a Mockingbird in there somewhere too. Yeah, I got to read that too. Shut up.
You got to read that. Come on.
I read Tom Sawyer 3 times.
Did you go to high school?
Tom Sawyer. Yeah, Tom Sawyer, fucking Huckleberry Finn, and Tom Sawyer again. The fuck? Oh, and the Iliad and the Odyssey. Hey, we're gonna read the Iliad this year. Why?
Right.
Cliff notes that shit.
Jason the Argonauts, one of my favorite movies, basically.
Yeah, one of your favorite movies, but the book was like, it's fucking terrible. It's
Golden Fleece.
It's an epic story. I know.
It's all about the golden fleece and skeletons coming out the ground.
I'd rather have talked about Plato's Cave because that shit fucks you up. Okay. We're moving on. We're moving. We're going to talk about some interesting stuff now. What we're going to talk about is Dogecoin. We're going to talk about cryptocurrency, right? So everybody's in this cryptocurrency and riffs and all that kind of shit. And it's mostly because my friend here, Jason, is interested in cryptocurrency. But this weekend, too, something very interesting happened. On SNL this weekend, they had the audacity, the gall to put on a billionaire. And by the way, some of that shit was funny. I don't know if you watched any of that. The Wario thing was great.
That was great. That was great. Yeah. It was.
Him doing an Italian accent in his horrible accent was funny.
Right.
Hold on a second. I don't know if you guys seen this Wario sketch.
It was great.
But you can find it on SNL Wario sketch with.
And you know what? So what if he doesn't know how to act? So what if he doesn't know how to Who cares? Like it's a guy doing a skit. He's reading off of cue cards. I mean, come on, guys.
Right, exactly. He does exactly what everyone who doesn't know how to act does. He uses his hands too much, and he's like,
right, a lot
of, which was awful. But he comes on SNL, and he talks about Dogecoin. And if you don't know what Dogecoin is, Dogecoin is a coin that's based on an internet dog.
Right.
And Elon Musk.
That was based on a joke. It was based on a joke.
It's
people
a
who created it wanted to make fun of it and created it. And exploded.
But Elon Musk threw his hat into and he's buying them. Like he's making them or buying them, whatever the fuck it is. And I think you have to basically the whole idea of cryptocurrency, right? And you can correct me, please, if I'm wrong. Is that someone has sprinkled cryptocurrency all over the internet. Ooh. All over the internet. Sprinkled it up. And there are unfungible, RFTs, and as currency. And you have to have your computer mining away, looking for those unfungible cryptocurrency coins, like Bitcoin. And once they're found, you can trade them in for actual currency because they're worth something. Right. I don't fucking know how that's fucking possible, but they are.
Right.
Facebook wanted to do its own, and the rest of the country, the rest of the world was like, "Fucking cut it out."
Lira, I think the lira, right? It's called, right?
Libra, which is not too confusing with lira at all. Not at all.
Who knew?
Yeah, exactly. How about we call it Libra? How about you shut your fucking mouth? What kind of bullshit is that? But they stopped them. They stopped them to doing that. I think it's because people are like, first of all, Facebook is destroying America. We should all realize that. Social media in general. Destroying us. But to your end, you're interested in doing some cryptocurrency mining, right?
Well, the point is this, like, we're coming from a different generation, right? When you talk to 19, 20 years old, they don't want to deal with cash in any capacity. They'd rather go through, their wallet on their phone. They'd rather go through PayPal. They don't want to deal with it in any capacity.
No.
So when you start looking deeper into it, governments are starting to understand this, and they wanted to get rid of like the dollar bills and just cash in general for a long time now. So this is just going to escalate it. So I think Sweden by year 2023 is going to create their own currency that's going to be digital. That's going to be like crypto basically. Mm-hmm. And they're going to start using that and start phasing out their own like cash, portion of giving out cash.
What happens when the grid crashes and you don't have access to that fucking stuff in your bank? What happens then?
Well, the thing is, there's some truth to that, but the reality is that the way the crypto is created with the blockchain, it's easier to see where these problems have occurred and to fix it. All Unlike now, where you can do like money laundering, for example, and not know where the money is and have to go through all these steps. Right. Since everything is documented, somebody, and you have to trust the person doing this, can actually see that transaction and say, "Oh, here it is on Tuesday 7:03. This is what happened," and then you can try to correct the problem.
Right. The best thing about cryptocurrency is the blockchain. The blockchain.
Right. So everything is documented in some capacity.
The blockchain stops information from being leaked. It is a secure information connector, and it makes the unfungible currency that is Bitcoin very, very secure. And that is true. And if the United States ever thinks about doing something like that, it would be very interesting, because billions of dollars a year are lost all over the world in counterfeit money. Right. And there's lost through, I can only give you Bitcoin if I transfer it directly to you. No one can take it from me without my express consent through the blockchain, which makes it, again, incredibly secure.
Plus, let's understand this. Cash is what we as human beings make it out to be. I give you $1 because I'm telling you that this dollar is worth.
It's a promise. A dollar is worth. Right. $1 is actually bullshit. Money in general is bullshit. You can take a dollar and replace it with a shell, and it'd be the exact same thing if you believe in that shell is worth money.
Exactly, and that's really what we're going into this digital world. If you believe a Bitcoin is worth $1, then that's what it is. And as long as people agree to this, and we believe that this is going to be the future, then that's what's going to happen. Which is why it's exploding so much in the last 5 to 10 years. You know, so I listened to Edelman Financial. I don't know if you ever heard of Rick Edelman. He basically is his own. He has his own financial company, and he had our favorite press secretary, Scaramucci, on, because Scaramucci, whether you like him or not, this guy, I think it's Sky Capital's his business. He takes care of billions of dollars, right? Yeah. So he had him on, and he was like, he just recently bought into cryptocurrency and digital assets, and he said 3 things that he was afraid of it years ago. But as of 2016, he realized that this was a thing because now we have billions of dollars generated in this. It's not just, a couple of guys doing it. It's billions of dollars, right? Mm-hmm. The other thing was now we have a trading format. Now we have all these, places where we can see the trades being done. Before it was kind of like this secret thing that only people knew. Right. But now you have websites, you have,
Blacknet apps. Blacknet stuff. Yep.
Right. You have apps that are tracking this, and you can see it, and they look just like the stock market. I mean, it's buying and selling just like the stock market would at this point. And the third thing is the future of it now, because of what we were talking about. He sees that people don't want to deal with cash. So if you add all these things together now, how much money is generating, how much, people don't want to deal with cash, especially the new generation, and how, this thing is just now becoming mainstream in the sense that we see it online. He thinks it's the future, and he put, I think it was like $50 million into it to try to generate money for his company, which I think they have generated, they recouped, they made, a third of that back already, I'm just saying, right, in their own assets. So it's not necessarily that I'm interested in it, because I think that it still has a long way to go. Mm-hmm. I think it's one of those things that this is our new kind of rush for gold. There's going to be some big, like Bitcoin or whatever, that explode, and people are going to make millions and billions of dollars. And there's some that are going to die out. As long as you look at it as gaming kind of thing, kind of like, I'm just going to put $50 here or $1,000 here, or whatever you can afford. And you don't take it and say, I'm going to put my whole retirement.
Oh. What happened? Oh.
Here and you just kind of
you crashed there for a minute. You crashed that retirement. Oh, my internet connection. Hold on, folks.
This is problematic. The U.S. government trying to stop us from talking about digital assets at this point.
Again.
They're here.
Hold on.
So to add to it, right?
Yeah.
If you're foolish enough to take your whole 401k, for example, and dump it into Dogecoin, then of course you have a problem. You know what I'm trying to say? Because that's, you're taking a big risk. But if you're just doing dollar cost averaging, which is, $25 a check or $100 a check, whatever you can afford, and you play the game and you're kind of watching it and you're just trying to, sell at a certain point, you're just kind of playing with it, then you.
Give it a second, folks. Hello? Yep. You're just playing with it.
So that's the thing. Plus, people have to understand, if you do buy Bitcoin and sell it, it's just like anything else. You got to pay taxes on it. And I don't think that these people realize, when you see these Reddit groups and they're buying up, all these cryptos and all this, AMC stock and all this stuff that's tanking. You made 20 grand. But they know.
The Storks guys know they know that they pay taxes though. They do. They know. The Storks guys
people that don't realize
the fact that they fucking cornered the market. Those guys cornered the fucking market on GameStop and AMC and saved AMC. That's the thing that we forget here. They saved AMC and GameStop from being raided by whatchamacallit. They sell short stuff. Fuck those guys. To your point, I think you're coming through from a very solid place, and I appreciate that, and I think that's really smart. And if you're interested in keeping cryptocurrency, stay away from the women. Stay away from those women from Kenya. We're coming to send you shit. But take a look at it if you're interested. And my only issue is there's the worst possible thing that happens is people putting up 3 servers in their house to mine for cryptocurrency.
Right.
And that balloons the heap signature and uses a lot of energy. And
there is some truth to this. There is some truth to that, right?
But there are other people that are doing green versions of that. So find out. You don't need a server in your house. You just need service. Right. And there are people that are doing that, and you can just get on with them to mine cryptocurrency through their servers.
And if you're using Bitcoin, make sure you keep your passwords in a secure place so you don't lose it, and then you can't recoup the money if all of a sudden you hit like $1 million.
That happened to the guy in Japan.
Yes, exactly.
$13 million or whatever in Bitcoin were lost forever.
And I think if he tries one more time and he messes, it locks him out totally and he can't get the money. So he has one more shot.
Just write it down very clearly in a place where you know is safe. In your butthole.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So that is interesting, and I am gonna maybe take a look, maybe play some. The thing is that you're gambling with anything when it comes to money, because money like the stock market and whatever, you got to make sure that your investments are very specific and safe. I still own stock in Twitter. Why? I don't fucking know. It's like $5 or something like that.
But if it's a long-term game, you'll probably make money off it. That's the thing. If
you're doing it short-term, depends on it depends on whether Donald Trump gets his special edition up and running. By the way, fuck that guy. That guy's crazy. The people who are supporting him are even beginning to realize maybe not such a good idea. And the woman that's considered the female Trump in Virginia lost her chance to be governor. Huh?
Where? I didn't realize that. I know that there was she was running. I didn't know what the outcome was. So she lost recently.
Yeah, she lost the Republican primary. Wait,
right.
Woman.
But Virginia is kind of like a purple state at this point, right? So it's not like
state at this point.
Yeah, it's not like Nebraska maybe where she would have won.
I don't even know. I kind of feel like there's been Amanda Chase. She lost to a white man. Really? In the primary. But the realization is this, and this is very interesting. Joe Biden's approval rating is 64%. That's crazy high, considering. George Bush, after 9/11...
broke up there.
Oh, can you hear me?
At Joe Biden, 64%.
All right. Can you hear me now?
I got you now.
Okay. Joe Biden, 64%.
Yeah.
Which is this my internet connection is unstable, but I'm on my thingy. Now. Here I am. This thing. My personal hotspot. It's up and running. What the fuck? Here we go. I don't understand. Oh, you froze. Hello? Jason? Oh no. No. Oh, there you are. I hear you now. I see you. You froze again. Hello.
Great image of you, actually.
Hi. How about now?
I hear you, but I see you frozen.
Can you hear me, but you see me frozen? Am I still frozen?
No, now you're unfrozen.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Please! Amazing. So the ongoing issue is this. Joe Biden is approval rating 64%. And Trump doesn't want to stop talking about the past. He's not talking about the future. He has no plan because he has no fucking plan, right? This is the ongoing issue here. The man has no plan. So the people who are supporting him are beginning to feel as if, what are we doing? Because all he's talking about is, I lost the election, and that's it, blah, blah, blah. But he's not doing anything about the future. He's not talking about how things are going to be different. He's talking about the Kentucky Derby horse being drugged up. It's like, what are you doing? He has a blog called From the Desk of Donald Trump. That's madness. You know what I'm saying? And we're still treating this guy like he's a viable candidate? Are we fucking serious? The Republican Party is going to eat itself from the inside. Rick said, we have all these people that might be viable Republicans. The guy from Florida who just signed a bill to stop people from voting.
The governor? Is that
the governor of Florida is going to try and run for president in 2020, in 2024. Can we trust him? When Donald Trump goes back on the scene, it's going to be a fucking free for all again. And then, you're going to have to decide who you're going to vote for because you can't vote for crazy person. Again, he killed 500,000 people,
Right.
I mean, I don't know.
But he does have power in the Republican base. So there's always a chance that, if Ron DeSantis says, I'm running for president, and Trump tweets out, oh, this guy's not good enough to be the Republican nominee, forget him. He could, tank his loyalty in some place in the Midwest where he might need,
who is going to run for? The thing is, the Republican Party's out of his mind if they're fucking deciding to go back up Trump. It's a mistake. Lindsey Graham was like, oh, if you're going to be cleansed. It's like they're doing crazy ass shit. They need to fucking figure out what the future is and get to it. Trump is not the future. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Trump is not the future. And within a year, his viability is going to keep decreasing because there is nothing there. There is nothing there. And so we'll see what happens to the voting at this year. But next year is the big voting year. I think Democrats are going to take a lot of seats because there isn't going to be that law and order idea that's happened that got, the left wants to burn down your house. That's gone. You know what I'm saying? And the lessons of 2020, and I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
The lesson of 2020 is, hey, young people are going to be like, we want there to be change. You're not going to stop young white voters from voting for somebody who's going to create that. You're stopping black voters from voting, but they're still going to vote. We're not going to give you water. They'll bring their own. They'll bring their own water and sandwiches and stand in your fucking line. You know what I'm saying? Right. That's the thing. Right. They don't think these guys are not going to win, and they're not going to win by suppressing the vote. It's really problematic for them. Kemp is not going to be the governor of Georgia next year. This guy DeSantis is not going to win re-election. So that's the thing.
Well, what I was going to say was one of the big tests was how Joe Biden handled COVID, and even Republicans are giving him high remarks on that. So if COVID is on the track that we see it going down, and we reopen the schools and everything in September, and everything kind of starts, getting back to normal by July 1st or some kind of normalcy, that's going to hurt the Republican fight against him because he could just turn around and say, see, we fixed COVID. You got to vote for us for another 2 years and then vote for me again for another 4 years.
But it's not just COVID. It's like he's coming.
No, I know, but we're this country right now is very, what have you done for me lately?
Right.
I mean, it really has become. We're not thinking 20 years from now, unfortunately. We may be because we're seeing, stuff degrading and we see infrastructure having issues and we're trying to, we're looking at it long term.
Right.
But a lot of people are trying to survive. And if they see that they can go to work because COVID is now gone, even if you believed it or didn't believe it,
right,
that's all of a sudden becomes on your forefront. You know what I'm saying?
To your point, speaking of which, there's a giant problem happening right now. The labor statistics came in, and it came in low, right? Less people got
jobs. Something.
Yeah, it was supposed to be 100,000 more, but that's not what happened, and they're concerned because, people aren't going back to work. Well, they're like, well, if they can get free money, why would they go back to work? Well, it's not really about free money. It's about the wage. The wage is the issue. We talked about this before, about there being an issue with minimum wage being $7, and people aren't just coming to work. Why would I put myself in danger,
right,
to work at Chipotle for $8 an hour when I could stay home and pay my rent and not have to worry about dying until I get my shots? Right. So people are upset and they're like, nobody wants to work. You know what? Raise what you pay these people, because that's bullshit. Maybe the host should be paid $15 an hour. Maybe the people who are waitressing, maybe you should give them that $5 an hour, because most waiters and waitresses make $2.50 an hour,
right?
And they live on tips, which is nuts. And I know you could talk about margin and market and the market. Well, you know what? The free market is doing its job because people aren't working for the fucking thing you're willing to pay them, and you need to figure that out and figure out how that's going to work. Right. And I know that might be a little mean, but is it? Is it mean?
Look, I mean, what I think what COVID has awoken in people in general, forgetting about the money aspect, is just, do I sacrifice and kill myself, when I only have a limited time on this planet anyway, how much sacrifice and killing do I need to do if I'm either not getting the money or I don't feel satisfied? And I think we're coming to a reckoning where people are kind of like, yeah, maybe I don't need to work. Maybe I could, try to write that novel that I wanted to write. I'm just saying, I'm using that as an extreme example, but it's like we're getting to the point where we're like, people kind of realize this can change in a second. Right. So why am I going to kill myself if next year we could get another, COVID-20, and now we're in the same situation? The chance of that happening probably not as great as I'm making it, but we never know. So people are kind of looking at themselves and saying, what am I going to do to be happy? And if this is what's going to make me happy, I'm going to ride this out for a little while longer. Right. There's some truth to that.
So here's to your point. I agree with that. I think there's a lot of interesting things happening in the Biden administration that are just interesting overall. They want the Rose Garden. People are asking for the Rose Garden to be put back where it was, which I think is like, oh my God. And that dog's biting everybody. Fuck him.
It's Cujo in the White House right now.
I love it. I fucking love it.
Get Justin to write that story. Cujo in the White House.
The samurai clown. Damn it, Reyes. We should take some of his things, just make them into like a soundboard. It's so funny.
Right.
But like there's actually, it was really great. There's actually a video going around the internet of Arnold Schwarzenegger having breakfast with his pony. Have you seen this?
No, I haven't. But I gotta see it.
He's like, yes. What do you want? Some cereal, pony? And the pony's head sticking in. It's like, you want some? It's good. It's pony. Pony's here with me. Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Classic.
Anyway, just look it up. It's fucking hilarious.
Right.
I'm looking there with his point. But yeah, there's some interesting stuff happening in the White House besides the dog biting people and Bo died this week, man.
Yeah, I know.
It was Mother's Day. He died on Mother's Day. He went to the big pound in the sky. All dogs go to heaven, man. Fucking Bo.
Puppy.
That dog didn't even last 10 years.
No, poor Bo.
Poor Bo.
Have a moment.
He did actually. No, he lasted 10 years. He was the first year they got him 2000. I want to say 18. Damn.
Yeah. Do they put the flags at half staff or something like that?
Yeah. Who cares? Fucking dog.
Poor Bo. I love dogs. Don't get
Don't get it. Don't go. No, right, folks. We don't have a fucking PO box. I said,
but I love them.
PO box GTFOT. PO box. Get the fuck out of here. Zip code. Zip out of here. Don't send me. I don't care. Don't send me anything. I don't care. I like dogs. The dogs are fine. We all love dogs. Right. All dogs go to heaven. All that good shit. Had a fight with my son once where I said that animals didn't have souls, and he got real mad at me. My wife was like,
"That's the whole point of."
My wife at the time was like, "You don't do that. You hurt his feelings." It's like it's a dog.
Wasn't that the point of Cat's Eye, where the cat jumps on your chest and sucks your soul out of you when you're sleeping?
But it wasn't the cat.
Right.
Stephen King. I gotta tell you something. Stephen King. Excuse me. Allergies.
He's vaccinated, folks. So
get vaccinated. Folks, kids. Now, kids. David Letterman used to call everybody kids. Just crack me up. Yeah, I don't know what that was. I think it's dust.
Yeah, that's mites.
Dust mites in my nose. So yeah, Bo's dying, but but Biden's doing a lot of interesting stuff, and the infrastructure plan, the tax plan, where he's fucking rebuffing the IRS, actually going after Trump for his crimes. He's a criminal. But you saw what happened last week, where they Bill Barr. All that shit with Bill Barr was like, they're like, you have to release that stuff, and now we get to see how dirty Barr was. These things were like, we got to we can't have people politicizing the offices that are in there. Bill Ray, the FBI inspector, is still the FBI guy. Why? Because he was like, Donald Trump's an asshole, and I'm going to do my job. Which pissed Donald Trump off. But don't hire a guy with integrity next time.
And by the way, whether you like the media or not, Whether you like the media, or think they're corrupt, whether you think they're scandalous journalism, there is no way that the Justice Department under Bill Barr should have been finding out information on people from the Washington
Oh
Post.
no, it wasn't Bill
Like
Barr
that
though. It
is
was under the other guy, the short kid
which one?
from Alabama, or
Well, whoever it was, there's no way you should use the Justice Department as a wing to try to get information on your enemies. Like that's out of control.
yeah.
That's basically we're going back to society that is just going downhill at that point.
Yep.
If we agree that that's acceptable,
Yep, that's wrong.
under freedom of press, under religion, under our Constitution, that's just wrong. That's crazy. When I heard that, I was like, this would have been if this would have been Obama or Clinton, like they would have been impeached in some capacity because they would have been under, that administration. Like it's crazy. They would have just been going crazy right now. Fox would have been blowing it.
Well, it's the whole idea, like I said before, of politicizing the seat. That's not what you should be doing. And and I know there's still some political connections to these things. Jeff Sessions was under Jeff Sessions, but there are some political aspects to any seat. But the idea is you have to uphold what you're doing. Look, I don't think the president should fucking appoint people. I don't think they should. I think it should be like, excuse me, I gotta reset myself. I think that it should be like, I don't know. I don't want there to be some kind of political connection to the people who work on these things. They need to be separated from the right or the left. And I know that doesn't make any sense because, I mean, Sally, Loretta Lynch, Eric Holder, for God's sakes. We could talk about Eric Holder all day. This guy was a complete jerk. I don't like Eric Holder. I understand,
right.
I understand but some of the stuff he did was bad. And he's a lefty, and I don't like that. I don't want there to be politicalization of the offices. Just like I don't want there to be politicalizations of the court. The court needs to be middle ground people who make sense. Yeah. And right now we have a very, very right court, and it's a real problem because they're not taking care of you. They're taking care of some ideology, and that's a problem.
Right. Which, by the way, when it comes to the Supreme Court, this idea of being left or right, shouldn't you be appointed to the court and just follow the Constitution? So the idea, there's certain things that
yes, but
I mean, I'm just saying, like, this shouldn't be a right or a left thing. This should be, when it comes to the Supreme Court, at least, should be that we have a document that tells us what we need to do. We have these rulings that have happened in the past, and we use those rulings based on what we have with the Constitution, and we come up with a verdict. It shouldn't be if you're a right, you believe in the right or left, and you believe in abortion, you don't. Like, there should be a lane, a narrow lane when it comes to this, because the law is the law. It blows my mind that we have the right court or the left court.
Right. First of all, the problem is we have a very, very problematic issue with constitutionality. And traditionalists, as compared, who believe that the founding fathers in their great wisdom knew what they were doing, which makes no fucking sense because they didn't know we were going to land on the moon. They didn't see that fucking coming. They had no idea that that abortion was ever going to happen because it didn't make any sense. And there's a difference in the size of the population of that world that they made the Constitution for, and the Bill of Rights, which, by the way, is a genius document. Both of them are genius documents, but the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. And the extrapolation of what happens now in the idea, when people say stuff like, "Oh, you're being so woke," no, there's no such thing as woke. Woke is bullshit. You're calling people out on stuff because they shouldn't be doing those things in the first place. Woke, don't be misogynist. Is that woke? I don't know. That's, don't be misogynist. Treat women with respect. I don't understand. Don't rape them. And maybe give them control over their bodies. I mean, is that woke? That was so. I'm in a couple of different. And we'll go back to the Supreme Court thing because there is a couple of things we can talk about there. But I was in a couple to speak of wokeness and traditionality. I'm in a couple of different Facebook groups who just don't get it. Like, they don't fucking get it. Like, there's one, I'm in a comic book group, and the idea that Reed Richards Sue Richards there's an age difference, and Reed Richards met Sue Richards when she was a child, right? Reed Richards was 22 years old, she was 12. 10 years later, she's a scientist, so is he, and then they get married. And people are like, well, Reed Richards, I mean, come on. You met her when she was 12. It's like, he wasn't fucking her when she was 12, but the idea is, hey, maybe there's a little bit of whatever. It's like, well, older men marry younger women all the time. Yes, they date older men date younger women, older men marry younger women, older men get involved with younger women, and vice versa. Younger men get involved with older women, yada, yada, yada. But the idea of there being some kind of understanding of age and what makes sense should not be lost on people. And this guy who posted this thing about on this thing lost his shit, and he was like, oh, this woke bullshit. It's not woke. Don't fuck kids. You know what I'm saying? Don't get involved with people who are younger than you like that. It's kind of, we got to start thinking about how that fits. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, they were involved. They had some kind of connection as characters and fucking whatever. But the idea that Reed Richards marries her later in life, to me, makes sense. You were the girl that had a crush on me, and now that you're a woman, I understand. You have these, I get it, fine. Right. But she's a woman, and they got married. It's not like he's robbing the cradle or whatever. She's old enough to make decisions for herself, and she fell in love with, and she's been in love with Reed her whole life, and Reed fell in love with her, yada, yada, yada. Fine. But don't think that there's not inappropriality to some of that. There's some inappropriality to it, And that brings me back to the idea of the Supreme Court and the understanding of what traditionalism is as an understanding of the Founding Fathers, understanding the future, like reading a fucking crystal ball and thinking that everything they're saying makes sense. That's why we amend the Constitution, because they don't make sense.
Right. Right.
We could talk about
the genius of the document, that we could change it as times changed. Right.
Black people and women couldn't vote. Why? Because the idea of the Constitution was about gentried white males. That's it. Gentried white males were voting because they didn't want to be taxed. That's it. That's all. Well, you know what? In the Constitution, it says, people are allowed, there's all this other stuff in Bill of Rights. And the Bill of Rights, in some way, supersedes the Constitution with the understanding that we need to fucking think about how it extrapolates into the future. So there are people who are traditionalists, and they get in Supreme Court and believe that, which I think is crazy. And then there's people who aren't traditionalists who tend to be more left. That being said, I want two things to happen to the Supreme Court. One, add more fucking people. Add more judges. One. Two, they can only be on for 20 years. Fuck you, get the fuck out. Why? Because
that's some truth.
Lifetime appointments are stupid for anything. All right? They don't understand they don't understand how society will change between when they introduced and when they leave. Alito, for example,
Right.
Alito wants there to be slavery again. That guy's crazy.
Plus, when the Constitution was created, people didn't live till 95.
Yeah, they lived till 47. The old Benjamin Franklin was ancient at 65 or some shit.
I know. So lifetime for a Supreme Court nominee is maybe 20 years on the court anyway, because you got on when you were, let's say, 30, and you died when you were 55, for example. So.
The average age of, we live longer. We live close to 100 years now because of the future. Right. But 1776, you'll be lucky if you didn't get trampled by a horse at 25.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? No, I mean seriously. Or
I know what you're saying. Right.
In the 30s, get run over by a streetcar. And streetcars, folks, are trolleys. That's what a streetcar is. So yeah, you could get run over by a streetcar. It wouldn't, you weren't paying attention. Bang, bang, angles a trolley over you. You know what I'm saying? This happened.
Or a gun duel like Hamilton.
A gun duel like Hamilton, for God's sake. It's crazy, and it's true. Why were there more widows back then? Because people got killed a lot, especially men. Men would go, minors, holy shit, don't be a minor in the fucking turn of the century.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't know how we're doing this, but we're going longer than our 40 minutes. I thought we were going to be stopping.
Let's go to the edge of the...
Go to edge. We might have to stop. We have to stop. We'll come back and finish this off. But, yeah. It's a lot. I mean, hour and 20 minutes. It's crazy. We're entering our hour now, which is fine. but to the point, so again, if we stop, we start, whatever. To the point of that, it's like the constitutionality, that traditionalism, all that shit becomes kind of like you kind of have to take it with a grain of salt and extrapolate what they meant. You know what I mean? Like freedom of
Right.
speech. So I kind of feel like maybe social media, maybe having that bullhorn, maybe that isn't freedom of speech though, for certain people. Maybe call. Oh, is that me or you? You're frozen. Is it me?
I'm not saying you froze too, so I don't know though. I I think that was
Oh,
Facebook coming after us. I think that was
yeah.
Facebook coming after us.
My internet connection is unstable again. I don't know why. Uh-oh. Let me see. I see you. I see you. I might have to.
I see you.
Let's see what's stopping. All right. How is that? That better or worse?
About to fall asleep in this picture where you froze.
Is that better or worse? Is it better?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's good.
Okay. Yeah, I lost all connection on my phone. That's what's going on. It's bad.
Technology, baby. You gotta love it.
Yeah. It's
It's here to make our lives easier, as we
don't
can
lo-
tell.
don't love it. Don't love it. Not a fan. So you got to ask yourself if having that kind of a bullhorn is really freedom of speech, or is it something else? I don't know.
Right.
I think that we need to ask that question because Donald Trump should not be given a bullhorn. And anybody like Trump should not be given a bullhorn. It sets a dangerous precedent for a guy who can fucking end government and democracy. And the fact is that we're letting people change laws that go against the entire idea of what the Constitution is because they want to hold on to power, and
Yeah.
that's a problem. You know. So all that, and what do we do? What do we do? We add more people to the Supreme Court. We give them term limits. That's what we do. That's how we make sure that what's his name?
Or we have two parties that actually sit down in a room and think about the future and try to create laws and that reflect the future and where we are now compared to where we're going to be 20 years from now.
I'd rather have three or four parties. I'd rather have five parties.
I
I'd rather,
agree.
I'd rather split. I want the GOP to fracture. It's going to happen. They're going to become the first party or some shit, some crazy shit, and they're just going to become more extreme. And then you're going to have what's left of the GOP trying to pull its shit together. And we'll see what happens. The Democrats might be split too. Might become a progressive party and the moderate party.
Right.
But we need to figure out.
There's nothing wrong with that because it would give us more options and people would have more of a lane to voice their opinions and their choices. Unfortunately, right now the two-party system isn't working in our society, and something has to change.
But I also believe that ranked choice voting will save us all. You know why? Because the idea of ranked choice voting means that you pick three people, a number one, number two, and number three, and you put them in the hat, and then they come out. And the person with the most votes in that rank will win.
Right.
And I feel like that it might give us a better understanding of what people want, and maybe less crazy, which is what we want across the board.
Right.
We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see. All right, still recording. Wow.
Let's do it. Let's go to the edge. Let's ride this baby out. It's like the black hole. Remember the black hole back in the 80s?
Oh, I love that movie, man. I love
it. We go right to the end.
I love that. Not only do I love that movie, I love the music for that movie. And by the way, just before I forget, the music for Rogue One is so good. Oh my God. It is so good. You got to listen just to the themes. Really fantastic.
All right.
Michael Giacchino is the best. He created the music for Up, as a matter of fact. And that's a seminal soundtrack.
Right.
If you like good music.
If you want to cry.
We talk about Mike Giancana all the time on this show because he's awesome. Sorry. I'm sure.
Maybe one day he'll come on the show.
Oh my God!
Mike Giancana.
He's such a geek. I'll be like, when you did the music to right. You're like,
times.
I love you. I gave Justin a lot of bullshit last week, but I think it's because I had to give him bullshit.
Right. And you go way back, so you can do that. That's part of
way back. I mean, He knows who I am. It was funny. Uh, Check him out. He still has some Kickstarters, man. Go and give him money. He's an interesting creator. He writes good shit. If you haven't read any of his stuff, fuck, what are you doing? Read it.
How many times do you think when he was chopping like onions for his taco, he just started busting out laughing? Like, what was I doing on that show?
I watched it last week after I watched. I was cracking up half the time. It was really funny. You were killing me. You're an Speaking of social media, a friend of a family member has just jumped on social media.
Yes.
He doesn't know what he's doing, and it's some of the funniest shit you've ever seen.
Some of the comments that
oh my god,
he say, "I am afraid right now,"
and I love it. He's like, but he's using stickers, like he's using stickers in his stuff, and posting shit. It's great. I love it.
And the reason why he's afraid is that another one of our cousins basically scared him off of it, taking like people are gonna be watching you. You're gonna be exposed.
I don't know what this is, but I wish I was there when that
happened. They always watch.
Oh my god!
Be careful what you say and do and post. So
he was
terrified.
Family,
he didn't post.
Yo, families are fucked up right off the bat. Just straight up, families are fucked up.
Now this is a guy too. If you want to go one step further. Never believed in having a cell phone. Never. And then like 3 years ago got a cell phone and got like the iPhone 9. Like he went from nothing to like top of the
boom! I need some apps.
Right. How is it possible? You didn't he didn't go in between. He didn't do the flip phones. He went right to like the iPhone 9.
No, he didn't because he didn't believe in it. It was like like bad. Like how like you're growing up and you're like, Curry, I don't understand that. I don't want that. And then you have like one time in the Indian restaurant where you try it and then it's all holes barred. If you like it, every day you're gonna be currying all the time. When can I have more curry? That's all you think about. Curry. It's like that's it. It's like when you were a kid. When you were a kid and somebody introduced you to like a Snickers bar for the first time. Like it's like 0 to 50. Like you never for then on it's everything. Baby Ruth, Snicker, I don't know. What's this? Caramel, Twix? Give it to me. I don't know. What is it? I got to find out what it is. Candy. It's like a joke. But it's true. And I think that's what happens. I think when people like get involved with stuff that's addictive, like candy or Walmart or Costco or your first phone, it all goes off the rails.
Speaking of chocolate, when I gave my kid chocolate for the first time, like a couple months ago, like I think it was like Halloween, and of course, like you say, she's like gorging on it, just eating it nonstop. And finally, I'm like, you can't eat that. You got to stop eating as much. And her reaction was she put her finger to my mouth and said, "Shh." like don't talk.
Stop talking,
Classic.
Daddy. My daughter said you say that. Stop talking, Daddy. Oh.
Good time.
Don't talk, Daddy. Don't talk. She used to be kids are really funny when they're little. When they get older.
Yeah. The sass comes out.
Sass. Oh my God. Teenagers are the worst. You will find out, my friend.
Oh, it's coming. They're already teenagers in my house.
Oh, especially when they fall in love. Oh, it's the worst. It's fucking worst. Oh my God.
A great poet once said, "What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more."
Don't hurt me no more.
The great Hathaway, ladies and gentlemen.
Hathaway. My father-in-law used to sing that song walking around the house. He used to crack me the fuck up. Baby, don't hurt me. Wow.
Oh, good time.
What is love? Ray is actually not a vampire. He's Puerto Rican, but he has a very interesting accent.
Right.
What is love? My favorite. So for some reason, something happens, going to happen when I'm 70. I'm going to add the word as an actual word in the vocabulary. So when people ask me questions, I'll be like, who? Like, it's a word. It's it means something. To you, not to anybody else, but to you, it means something. So when somebody asks you a question, your answer will be followed by the actual answer, followed by I don't know, which is always, I don't know.
Isn't that a Scrabble word? Is it a Scrabble word?
Yes, it is. E-H-H.
There you go.
E-E-H-H.
It's a triple word score at my house.
I don't know. Yeah. So
good times.
Good time. Do my Clinton dance.
Right.
Never point with your finger. Always point with your thumb. I love the fact that Donald Trump couldn't point. He just kind of like leaned against things and then did his hand motions, his accordions, dumbass.
So
Nobody doesn't use his hands at all.
You keep bringing them back. You keep bringing.
He annoys me. But Joe Biden doesn't use his hands at all. Like he doesn't talk with his hands. He just kind of like has his hands on the podium. He says what he needs to say.
Can he move them?
You raise hands only to make a very big gesture like, I have to go to the bathroom. That's it. Everything else is kind of like down here, down low. Calm, relaxed. Joe Biden, 100 years old. Anyway.
It's all about here. It's all about here with Joe Biden.
Yeah. Oh, the other thing that I thought was really cool. So, McEnany, the Biden's fucking Force Shield press secretary, takes no shit. And last week she was like, "Okay, crazy person." Did you see this video?
No, wait, McEnany isn't. That's her name. Isn't that the Trump person, McEnany?
Oh, now I gotta look it up.
You could about past. What's her last name?
Secretary. Press secretary. Patsky. McEnany is somebody else.
Paskey. Yeah. McEnany was the old one. Was Trump's.
Was Trump's the old. I'm sorry. Jen Psaki.
Psaki, right. Psaki.
I apologize. McEnany was crazy. Psaki went to crazy.
Kansaki. Kansaki is that, it's a virus kids get when they're small.
I don't even let the sound of it.
You could have had 7,000 strains of that thing.
Not going to even repeat it. It sounds so terrible.
Kasaki, New York.
Psaki points to a person from Crazy Town who starts talking about people. Says people are saying as her thing. She says people are saying this, blah blah blah. And like, who's saying it? Like she's like, she asked him who's saying that. It's like, I don't know. People in the media. It's like, who? She couldn't answer her because she's fucking nuts. Conspiracy theory lady threw a couple more out, and Psaki was like, nah, that's not happening. Next person, you had enough time. Like she was like, put up her hand, like shut up. Enough. Next. That was awesome. I love that. Like she let them like, no, take the rope. Keep going. No, you got it. Got it around your neck? Okay. Choking yourself yet? No? Choke yourself. Next person. I would have loved her to do that.
Has some chloroform.
If you haven't seen the video, just look up Psaki shuts down crazy person. Because there was like conspiracy theory after conspiracy theory. Like Joe Biden can't do his job. He's doing his job fine. The vice president met with the head of state of so and so. Everybody met with everybody. Relax. Like she said, it just like that. Like don't be stupid. Next question.
Right.
People are saying which people? Which people are saying that?
Right. Who are these people? Isn't that Seinfeld skit?
Who are all these people? No, that's one of the things that Trump used to say in his Twitter thing. People are saying like. Right. I used to say to him, which people, you piece of garbage? It's like, that's the conspiracy. People are saying, who? Which people?
Right.
What? Who? Right. Who's saying that? Nobody's saying it. Nobody's saying it.
People who need people. Lucky
people who eat people are saying. You're doing a song. I'm doing cannibals.
Fine young cannibals. It comes back to music.
Oh, fine young cannibals.
She drives me crazy. Is that the song of the day?
She drives me crazy. That's a great song. Oh man. So both my parents, my father got his shots. He's getting his second shot this week. My mother's getting her second shot this week as well.
Yeah.
All done. Safe from COVID, hopefully. Or COVID free or COVID safe. Right. So they should be okay. I don't know what's going on with your mom. I'm sure she's being taken care of as well.
I'm going with her sometime like I think it's Friday to get the shot.
Shot one or shot?
Because shot one because she was under the impression that they're gonna come to her house, and I'm like, no, they're not coming to your house. Like,
no, they sent my mother. They stopped my mother on the street and gave her a place to go. I guess my mom
shot and take it out.
Yeah, I guess my mom was under the impression that maybe she sold your mom, folks. Right. We have elderly parents. That's what it comes down to.
Right.
Our parents are elderly. So but my mom is like, again, made of steel.
Right. Yeah.
You know, she went to see. Speaking of which, she went to see her sister in Park Slope, and she was like, "Oh, they were fine. Everybody's fine." I was like, "How they doing?" "Yeah, you know." Yeah. Then she says, "What I think is great, you know, they're old," and I'm like, "That's you."
You're not
they're old.
spring
I'm like,
chicken anymore.
You too.
Exactly. Yeah.
They're old.
Hey, I have a question for you. It popped in my head. Right?
Oh,
Have you seen the Superman with the one in the W on Channel 11 now, the WB, with Superman and Lois?
I have.
So I just saw the first episode yesterday, just like glancing at put it on. Now let me ask you a question. In the comic book, was there when did he have two sons and one was bad and one was good? I don't remember that. It's just an invention that they've created.
His son isn't bad. His son isn't.
No, but I'm just saying. It just popped in my mind. Was that what
No,
that was?
They can do whatever the fuck they want with Superman. They can do whatever the fuck they want. So which is fine because the comics are different. And actually, I'm kind of sad the comics aren't what they used to be.
Right.
In general, but what happened was he does have a son
by the way.
He does have a son in the comics, Jonathan, who's replacing him as Superman until they reset everything again. So we'll see.
Really? Yeah. Interesting. So there was no two of them, and one was good and one was bad. Because I don't remember this. So that's
was he bad? Wait a minute. Was one of them bad?
Well, in the first episode, they're making it seem like he might be bad. You know?
You'll see what happens. It's
okay.
Bad is the wrong word.
Gotcha.
More like emo.
Not good.
More like emo kid and not so emo kid.
Right.
Emo kid and well-adjusted kid.
Right, gotcha.
But they love each other very much. It's very important. So hard to be a superhero.
Yeah.
The best thing that's happened this week in superheroes. The best thing that's happened this week in superheroes is the Invincible. What's that? The Invincible Think Mark Think meme. Have you seen that at all?
No.
The Think Mark Think meme. Have you seen any of it?
No.
Oh my god!
I'm not deep in the Reddit chain like you are.
Have you watched the end of Invincible, the last episode?
No, not the last episode yet. No, don't give it away. Me and Justin got to come on when we finally watch it.
Justin's really mad and not happy with Invincible at all. He's not happy with anything.
That's not what I hear.
He posted some shit. I was like, "Whoa, man!" I love that show. The show was great. But my favorite is when Superman beat Omni-Man and the American guy from The Boys. What's his name? Amerikaner, KKK. What's his name? Homelander. When Superman beat Homelander, I'm like, Superman beat the hell out of Homelander. Omni-Man he might have issue with, but Homelander, dead.
Right. Dead to me.
Dead to me. So the Think Mark Think a meme is out there, and it's a lot of fun. And if you get a chance, once you finish Invincible, where are you, by the way? Episode 2?
I'm in like 3 or 4. 4. I think I just started 4.
4, okay. When you get to I think there's 8 episodes or 6 episodes. Sorry.
Yeah, I think I'm halfway through. Yeah.
I need sleep. It's fun. It's a fun show. It has its moments.
You laugh, you cry.
You see a dad asking a lot of people some really fucked up questions. Have you seen Mark? It's like,
sorry,
I haven't. But back up, man. Why are you covered in blood?
Right.
Where's all this blood coming from? There's a lot of blood in it. I told you it wasn't for kids. No one believes me.
Yeah, I know. That's why I gotta sneak around to watch that.
It ain't the Bad Batch.
Right. Good time.
Somebody posted something about, speaking of superheroes, just one more thing. Somebody posted something about Hal Jordan being misogynist, and I was like, that hasn't changed. Hal Jordan's an asshole.
Hey, they reflect real life. There's good people, there's bad people, there's morons, there's fools. It's in the comic book world too.
You know, like Guy Gardner. Guy Gardner's a jerk. Yeah. Yes, he is.
Right.
Just because you have a ring doesn't mean you're a good guy. I mean, you're not. You'll fight for truth and justice, but maybe you're a misogynist and a jerk.
Right.
That's what it is,
People are
folks.
complex. We're complex as humans.
We're complex
in the movie
people.
world.
Why not show it in our art?
Right. Exactly.
Art. It's one of the things I love about Ant-Man. He's a jerk. He's a complete jerk.
And we love him for it.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I think we're coming to the end of this thing. Do you? Is there anything you want to end with, or you want to talk about, or any last?
No, I was into the crypto world. We broke that down, so I'm good. I'm gonna.
Yeah.
I'll start telling you my what's going on with
adventures.
When I'm making money or losing money or I'm crying at 3:00 in the morning texting you. I'll let you know. Don't worry. I got my 401k into it.
I got my passport pictures. That's a big deal. Now I get to because I have a printer. I get to mail my passport.
So you're ready to travel the world? Are you saying because you got your vaccine?
Yeah, fucking A. I'm going to travel the world. I can't do this bullshit, man.
Yeah.
Sitting around in Jersey. Look, man, I love my apartment, but it's in Jersey. Somebody asked me once, "You got big rats?" It's like talking about rats. Like I had, like, it's like there was my landlord's dogs are running around, and like, it sounds like you have one of those big rats. I'm like, yeah, rats in Jersey weigh about 250 pounds. And they thought it was funny, and I was like, it's not a joke.
Speaking of rats, did you hear the Francisco Lindor Mets thing happened Friday? Did you hear
what happened? No, I didn't. What happened?
So the Mets gave Francisco Lindor $341 million for 10 years.
341, not 340. Yes. Let's round it up. No, 341 million. You weren't going to do it. $300 million just because.
That's the icing on the cake.
Yeah.
So he's played his whole career in Cleveland, and he had a little tiff with one of the Mets players on Friday. They almost collided into each other, trying to make a play at second base. And one seemed to be upset with the other. They go into the dugout. They have a little tiff. The dugout literally clears and goes into the runway because that's where this was taking place. So the media asked, hey, what happened there? Francisco Lindor says, I was debating with him about, did I see a rat? And he said, no, it was a raccoon. And he had this skit back and forth where he obviously created it, where he said he saw a rat, but the other guy said it was a raccoon. Nobody bought this. And all I have to say is, when you're making $341 million, you don't have to justify anything. Just say, I talked to him in the dugout. We had a little tidbit, and it's over. That's it. That's how simple the New York media is. You get $341 million. You don't have to play this role. You don't just say. I think that these players, when they come to New York, they assume because they make a certain amount of money that they have to have a persona, and all the people care about is that you hit. If you hit a home run, which he did in that game, nobody cares if you were fighting somebody or you saw a rat. Nobody cares.
Yeah. How about this?
New York isn't that place.
How about this, Fernando? Don't be a dick. Don't be a dick and maybe cut your hair because you look like a fucking freak show. What the hell's wrong with you? This is New York, Papito. Paquito, Mr. Smile. Mr. Smile and Paquito. Hey, buddy, shave your head. 1, you live in New York. 2, I don't care if you're Puerto Rican. 3, hit the ball. That's your job.
Right.
Your job is to hit the ball and shut up. I know that people get really mad when you say that because there are people that are allowed to have their whatever and their point of view and all that stuff and once I said to somebody, oh, these actors, they get involved in politics, blah blah blah. And I was like, what do you care?
Right.
They're actors.
Right.
They're gonna spend money just like you do on whatever you do. You don't want to hear their opinion? Fine. I don't want to hear Clint Eastwood's opinion either.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
They read lines for a living. Let's be honest.
Right.
They are. Old
man Clint Eastwood is talking to a chair, and I'm like, look at this idiot. Meanwhile, whatever is talking about rights. Hey, who should talk about rights? The people who are voting. Is that guy going to do something? Great. He's not doing enough. Whatever he's doing, that fucking millionaire isn't doing enough. So shut up. Don't tell me to do shit. If you got $1 million, spend it on people, and don't give me a hard time. Get out of here. Put your money where your mouth is. It's the idea of my favorite thing. My favorite thing of all time is the idea of the left being elites. right?
Right.
The elites on the left, the elites in the east and the west, the elites. First of all, the elites you're talking about don't skew left or right. They skew right down the middle. They have their own ideas of what they want. They don't want to be taxed either. They want to keep as much of their money as possible.
People are leaving New York and Jersey for a reason. They don't want to be taxed.
No secret cabal of lefty elites. There is none. You know what? Every time you say that, I think and say, who the hell are you talking about? You know who they're talking to? Cletus. Cletus, who has no teeth, who is going to take care of himself. That asshole. That guy who they're talking about the elites, and he's going to definitely vote for the Republicans. They're going to take away his food stamps because he doesn't know better and he's a dumbass. That's what they're talking to when they talk about the elites. There is no elites. Shut up. I would love to be on Fox News just to be able to say this. There's a big scandal because they're asking what's his name from Fox News, the jerk who's on at 9:30 every night or
Hannity?
8:30. Not Hannity.
Bowtie? I didn't talk about Bowtie.
Bowtie guy.
Yeah.
Fox News. Talking Heads. Because they're going to replace us. They're going to brown people are going to replace you because your vote's going to be worth less than his vote or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell that's about. Wow, he's not even in here. I have put up Talking Heads, and he's not even in here.
Yeah. Just put 8 p.m. Fox News. What's his name again? I'm seeing Bowtie.
Bowtie. Yeah, we can't even think of him. Yes. Fox News anchors. Okay, hold on. Not Maria Bartiromo. Goddamn.
That's another one.
Not Neil Cavuto. Neil Cavuto. Jesus.
Why doesn't he pop up though? It's interesting that he's not popping up.
Yeah. Greg Gugfield. He's an asshole.
Tucker Carlson. But why Why doesn't he pop up right?
Tucker Carlson made
the same thing happen with me.
They're asking him when he get his vaccination. He's not willing to talk about it. But everyone in the morning show talked about getting vaccinated. Fox News is telling you not to get vaccinated and to treat kids with masks as child abuse. Fox News is telling you not to do that. Meanwhile, everyone on their morning show is like, "Yeah, we got vaccinated. Fuck that. I don't want to get fucking COVID."
Right.
Pick something. Either don't get vaccinated and get COVID and die, as you should, because you're stupid, or tell everyone to get vaccinated, but don't fight it. Don't act like it's against the, because Tucker Carlson is going to get. Of course, Tucker Carlson got vaccinated. Of course, he did.
So, on that note, on the last episode of the Dark Horse, I'm going to send you because they talk about this new COVID discovery. And I'll tell you when to listen so we can talk about it in the next episode. I just listened to it last night and I forgot to send it to you.
Why'd you send it to me, man?
I'm going to send it to you for the next one because it's one of those where they're very dry because it's two scientists talking about science. So you have to kind of there's no joking around. They're just kind of breaking stuff down. But they found a paper came out about COVID and the vaccines that I think you should listen to so we can talk about it.
The paper that says that everybody's dying of COVID.
No. The vaccine, it basically states that what has happened with the vaccine was intended, but not intended the way they wanted it to work, but it's working nonetheless. You know what I'm trying to say? So it's just interesting how it's kind of evolved. I
don't like the fact that they keep throwing this idea that this thing is a problem at COVID vaccines. And they keep talking about how they skew to one side or another, and it's not truth if you're fucking working it. Don't work the truth. Just tell the truth. Don't work it. Don't spin the truth. Just tell the truth, right? The spin that happens. Like freaking today, Ted Cruz was in a meeting yesterday. Ted Cruz was in a meeting which was about ghost guns that you could basically build in your house and kill people with, right? Yeah. And he tried to turn the meeting into, defunding the police with two people that haven't been confirmed yet. And the Republicans were like, Ted, this is not about that. If we have time at the end of this meeting, after we talk about ghost guns, to talk about this particular thing, we'll have time. But you're misrepresenting these people, and you're not talking about ghost guns. Maybe you should leave and come back later. And he got up and left because he's a asshole bitch. And that's the ongoing thing about Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz doesn't know what's good for him. He just doesn't know what's good for him, man. He doesn't know how to make things work for him because everything's got to be a conspiracy or they're taking power away from you or some other bullshit. It's like maybe when people say defund the police, what they actually mean is give the money that you would give to the police to buy armored cars and create and give it to people who maybe might be able to help that guy who lost his shit, or maybe put it into mental health facilities, or maybe help people who whatever, instead of having the police get an armored truck. Do they need an armored truck? I don't fucking think so. They have tons of cars. You know what I'm saying?
We gotta build RoboCops.
Oh, I forgot something. I saw Jupiter's Legacy, all of it.
I saw the first episode with the missus. Yeah,
I saw and I read the comic. The comic's really great, actually.
Right.
My son was like, I didn't like it, and I was like, well, after the first issue, shit gets better.
Right.
Which is always the same with Millar stuff. You know, you got to take a thing or something. But I got to tell you, meh. I don't know. We'll see. Season 2 is they're probably gonna have a season 2. It's an interesting story, and it has really good. It looks good, and it the story isn't bad, and it does have a lot of moral understanding and whatever. But it ain't going anywhere anytime soon. So if this was season 1 arc, season 2 arc is going to be a lot darker, and and by season 3, which is when the meat really starts happening, we'll see what happens. But we'll see.
We'll see.
If you haven't seen the rest of it, check it out. And I think that's it for the show for today.
I think in order for us to come together as a country, as a people, we have to listen to more Fine Young Cannibals, baby.
Oh, that's the song of the week.
That's the song of the week, baby.
Crazy. Woo, woo. Song of the week, Fine Young Cannibals. I do not own this song.
Look it up.
Look it up and buy it. Play it on YouTube right after the show. You can watch it. I don't own it in any way, shape, or form. Just saying.
We just like to listen to it on our iPhones.
But that's it, folks. We're ending this thing. Thank you very much for listening to us, all 12 of you.
And Justin. You're always welcome back, Justin.
You're always welcome back, Justin. Hasta luego, folks.